the support strike could have been, would have been improved if we didn't have as much drama as there was.
Yeah, I don't play Jeff at all, but from what I've seen, he is a lot better now.
You agree what?
Sexualized skins for men. No pants.
Give the man less clothes.
Yes.
Welcome to Overthink, my game show where I ask contestants a series of hot takes about games such as Overwatch and Marvel Rivals. If you'd like to be on an episode, please join my Discord server and grab the game show contestants role there. I host these live on my Twitch channel most Sundays, so please go follow me on there to catch a show live. And lastly, please don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more content like this. Contrary to popular belief, support is a hard role.
I think every role is difficult in its own way. I've played Overwatch as well, like competitively alongside Marvel Rivals. I've seen so many people struggle to play support while they're really good at maybe like DPS or tank. I think even though like mechanically this is like a really easy role to play, I think mentally and even like just timing in general, it's like way harder. And when you make a mistake, it's way more obvious to like the enemy and ally side that you made a mistake, so you end up getting flamed more. And just watching your team make mistakes can be so mentally taxing. So yeah.
Kind of going along with what Yona said, I did say somewhat agree because it is mechanically easier, I think. But especially once you get really up there, your mistakes, especially ultimates, matters so much that if you mess up, it like costs sometimes the whole game. Like I've seen bad support alls cost the whole game, and it is a lot of pressure. So that's why I would say somewhat agree. And not everyone can adapt to the playstyle, even though it is a simple one for some people.
Out of 3 goddamn roles, of course there will be at least one will be the easiest. Of course, out of DPS and tank and support, probably support will be the easiest role to play as. But you still need some kind of skills to play this role. You just need different set of skills. Like you still need aim to heal your allies. You still need to aim to hit difficult projectiles like Luna's freeze, Manta sleep. You still need hard skills to avoid and duel with enemy DPS who tries to kill you all the time. So I somewhat agree that out of 3 roles, support probably is the easiest in this game. But you still need to be somewhat good to play in this role.
First of all, I play this game casually, but I think that as a support, it's pretty easy to like rely on your other teammates, especially if you're like a newer player. But I also do believe that supports are like super important to the game, and it can be hard to get the timing right sometimes, but it's like pretty easy to learn, I would say.
Yeah, there's really no doubt in my mind that support is the easiest role in this game. It's the least demanding mechanically. Like every single weapon, ability, ultimate is either area of effect or auto lock. They typically have the most get out of jail free abilities and can heal themselves at will. You also don't necessarily need to see the enemy to get value, so it's typically harder for you to just explode. Like it's obviously not completely skillless, some would say, but I do think it's easier than compared to DPS or tank.
I deserve the rank that I have.
So I hit Eternity last season, right before the reset, and I do think I deserve that. I soloed a majority of it, and I still continue to solo a majority of my games. I got back to Celestial Solo, and despite people still calling you boosted, sometimes because of your gender, I 100% think I deserve it. And like, I don't think I deserve higher than Eternity, but I played Overwatch before this, and I got a lot of my knowledge from there. I don't know, I just grinded this game in a way that like, I understand it, and I'm pretty good at my role, so yes, pretty confident in that.
Not gonna lie, I'm being humble about this, but yeah, I think I still make a lot of mistakes, so fair that I'm in plat. I did peak diamond, so perhaps I do have the potential to climb, but I think for now I'm pretty happy where I am. I don't got any issues really. I'm chilling.
Those like 2 very wholesome opinions from like 2 different sides, you know? I like that. Now we have our somewhat disagreeers. I'd like to hear from 2 of you. So who would like to speak?
Last season, before rank reset, I was GM3. Right now I'm Diamond 3, and I think I can be even higher. And the only reason I'm not ranking up is because I have anxiety when I play ranked, and that's why I don't really play ranked that often. I just don't want to lose a lot of games and ruin games with other people. But I also think that if I played more and played with my friend who's my duo, he's not really playing that much as me, I would be higher. And also my PC is very, very weak. Like Rivals is, my PC barely can handle Rivals, and I have like 40 FPS during fights. So I think the only thing stopping me from reaching Celestial 3 is my PC and my ping.
So I think based on pure placements, I shouldn't really be where I am right now. I say this because this season I'm Plat 1, and the season 1, when I prioritized not necessarily playing support, but more tank, I was low GM. I say this because it's very hard to rank up as a solo support. A lot of games are very hit or miss, and it's nearly impossible, I'd say, if you are the rank you should be to carry a game as a support player. You can do very well, you can help your team, but if your DPSs aren't getting picks or your tanks aren't making space, it's really hard to actually make any ground. So couple onto this the fact that you get less elo when you're support. They've mitigated it now, but it was like that before. I'd say it's not fair to, at least for me, to say that I deserve the rank I have right now.
The support strike was necessary.
I know that the consensus is that Necros was the person that started this whole thing, right? I think we all know that. But I think that the support strike was going to happen without Necros. It was just an inevitability, because I think it's a bit ridiculous that like strategist mains were gaining less points and losing more points in rank. It's really unfair, while like it was already pretty miserable to play this role during the dive meta. I think it was necessary, and I think the nerfs made playing this role more bearable, and I do see more people willing to play this role now, and I think the game has become a bit healthier. I'm not saying that dive should be like nerfed forever. I think it should be shifted around, and as like there are more like strategist characters that have been released, I think we will have ways to counter dive characters that are a bit more on the stronger end better. So yeah, I just wish that Necros didn't get so much backlash. What he said was wrong, but I think he's just a poor old lad that said some stupid things.
I already said a lot about this in the previous video, and I still agree with all of the things I said.
Can you reiterate it just for the people who didn't watch the previous video?
I don't really remember anymore. I think it was necessary just because there was a lot of toxicity towards support players in general, in social media, in the actual games towards support players, and this toxicity and negativity, and the support strike was just an answer to that.
Necros has an ego, and that strategist players know that what like we play and do is like important to the team. And but I still don't think the whole dramatization was necessary, but I'm happy it did happen because it caused the whole points thing to get fixed, and I'm grateful for that. So yes.
So, like Strawberry said, I completely agree with the point that the dramatization was very stupid. All the sentiments were valid, especially the elo gain and loss. I noticed it a lot, and it should have been talked about, but also a lot of content creators just milked it dry and made it really volatile for no reason when it shouldn't have. And it should have just stuck to the point of the problems we have as support players. And I understand that it's an inevitable and it's going to happen because content creators want to make their bag, especially for a game that's as popping as Marvel Rivals. But I think a lot of what the support strike could have been would have been improved if we didn't have as much drama as there was, especially with Necros, even though he kind of mellowed out after everything kind of died.
A lot of what I heard about the support strike was that people were unhappy with the SR elo gain and that they felt it was harder for supports to carry games than the other roles. In my experience, I never really noticed like losing more SR or gaining less SR in comparison to other people that I was playing with. I also think people really didn't like playing into dive. In my opinion, that supports are really strong against dive heroes with their damage and CC abilities. So like, I didn't really think that was something we needed to be talking about.
The dive comment, at least once you go against really good people who play that, they know, like, at least when I'm on Cloak and Dagger, I think Invis is better against dive, but you don't do that much damage, and if people aren't helping you, it is very difficult to play against like a Venom, a Spidey, a Panther, and it just makes it miserable. Like I've had games where it's just full dive all the time, and it just is very difficult to deal with.
Marvel Rivals sexualizes their characters way too much.
I don't know if I can say this word. It's like also kind of like cocky. Like I like how they're like willing to take risks, but I can see the negativity and downsides to it.
I think there's a fair argument to be made that a lot of characters are sexualized more than they should be, but I also think that at the end of the day, it is a video game, and these are based on comics, and like nothing in comics is really real, and it's overly exaggerated. So it's not like we're like trying to push a narrative that like this is okay. And also at the same time, again, being lewd gets you clicks. Like when Emma Frost dropped and her skin dropped, the players went up substantially, and you could attribute that to there being a new character and it being a new season. But also a lot of people did click because, you know, Emma Frost is built the way she is. So I also want to add that they do add skins, and not every skin for female characters is sexualized. They do try and stick to the source material as well, and I respect them for that. But otherwise, I don't really have an opinion. Again, just play the game to play the game. It shouldn't be that serious.
Okay, yeah, I would say that it's definitely like a problem with the women, because of course I understand like fan service and stuff, but honestly, it gets to a point where it just gets tiring, and especially when like I have complained about it before to like people I know, and some people try to like say that it's okay because it was like that in the comics, but I feel like the comics have the same problem, so I would say that it's just annoying and it does get to a point.
So I can agree with people that there's too much sexualization of female characters, but I think in this game there's a lack of sexualization of male characters in this game. This is unfair. This is unfair. And don't say me that Namor skin and Black Panther skins are sexualized. For me, they're not. They're not. They're just revealing. They're not even sexualized for female gaze. They actually they cater more to male demographic because revealing muscular men. Who loves muscular men? A man. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry.
If it helps, you're getting cheered on hella by chat. They're saying they're hyping you up, show. They say that you are spitting. Keep it up. Take your time. Go at your own pace.
Yeah, so Black Panther and Namor skins aren't sexualized for female gaze, whereas Loki skin, the sexualized Loki skins or other popular male characters for female gaze especially. The only real sexualized skin, male skin for females audience is Magneto skin, the new Magneto skin, and that's it. There's no real sexualization of men in this game. No enough fan service for me. Thank you.
I have a question for everybody. Did anybody see that tweet today where somebody was getting really angry about people who were wanting Wolverine? I guess let me rephrase. So Marvel Rivals announced, I don't know if it's released yet, but they announced a new skin for Wolverine. I think like the Project X, right? Is that what I'm thinking?
Yeah.
And he like canonically he's like in very little clothing, but for the skin they gave him shorts. People were saying that it should be more true to like how Project X Wolverine was. What is everybody's thoughts on that? That's like I guess part one to my question, but I have a follow-up question after.
Yes, I agree.
You agree what?
More sexualized skins for men. No pants.
Give the man less clothes.
Yes.
I do agree that we need more male like sexualization, I guess. But for that skin, it feels wrong to. I guess like not everyone reads the comics, but that one it just feels a little wrong to me, just because of like that's like I'm pretty sure that's like when he was like made into Weapon X and like he was like being tortured and going through a lot. That's the only reason why I'm okay with him giving him shorts and like just making it like that. But yeah.
Okay, cool. So that actually was going to be like my follow-up question. Wait, so is it called a Weapon X or Project X? I'm not
Weapon.
a weapon. Okay, yeah. So I'm just misspeaking. Oopsies. Yeah,
Nice.
I love Marvel Rivals, but I'm very ignorant when it comes to Marvel as a whole. But that was actually my follow-up question. Because I did see a tweet today where somebody was getting incredibly upset. They're like, why the fuck do people want the skin to be sexualized when this is like the most trauma that this man has ever been through? I forgot the exact words of the tweet, but maybe you guys have seen it. But what are your thoughts on that?
A little absurd that you're that extreme. I've seen tweets about people talking about the skin, most certainly, but like I don't know why they seem so mad there.
For me, like, I did see people reply to that tweet with that one Invisible Woman skin, which I think is a fair point to make.
Actually, I'd like to add on to the point I made.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think in a perfect world, all skins would be sexualized equally and there isn't any bias, but also we don't live in a perfect world and the male gaze simply pays more than the female gaze, or I guess gay men gaze. We don't discriminate here. So while I think it would be fair to make it more lore accurate, obviously to an extent, we can't just have them butt naked out here, but again, it's not a fair world out here, so we're gonna have him in some shorts for now.
Is there anybody that would like to change your stance after hearing others speak? If so, just say yes.
Yes.
All right, cool. So where are you gonna move to?
The show.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us why you moved from somewhat agree to somewhat disagree.
She has a point. Where are my men in black turtlenecks? Where are my men in pretty, like, I don't know, blushy lipstick? The Korean type of, I guess like the female gaze would be like the more Korean type of like aesthetic, you know? We don't have that. And it's unfair. A lot of girls play this game, and even if they don't, we should have some options to enjoy over, you know? Sure, Venom is twerking, you know? But like, come on. Not all of us are into that, you know? He's not human, you know? Come on now. But yeah, Sho has a point. I did not think about that. Thank you, Sho, for your valued opinion. I am with Team Sho. Thank you.
Yay.
Sho, you have some fans.
Yes.
More sexualized skins for Lucky.
If everybody could pick one character that you want to be sexualized more, I can't believe I'm asking this. Who would it be?
Lucky.
Huh. I need to think about this one. Oh, Iron Fist. Not gonna lie. Yeah!
Guys, what about you? They're like, I'm not gonna speak because I will get canceled. Oh, never mind. They spoke. Chad is saying Bucky.
Yes, correct.
The only time when I'll judge is if you say Jeff.
Oh God. Yeah, no, please nobody say Jeff. So, on the topic of Jeff, our next one is Jeff related, but it is not about him being butt-ass naked. So, our next hot take. The Jeff rework strike is silly and unnecessary. Wow, we have a lot of people in agree. Oh, and Sho decided to join them. So everybody in agree. All right, let's hear from like maybe 2 or 3 of you guys.
The whole Jeff boycott the rework thing is crazy. He used to be completely one-dimensional. Your only options were to just heal bot your team or go flank and do damage. And everyone hated it because either you're heal botting and that's no fun, or you're doing damage and you have like 700 HP and nobody can kill you. So now his primary fire damages and heals at the same time, so he doesn't have to just sacrifice one or the other. And he's really good at peeling for people that are under fire because he can just like heal them and attack the person diving them. It's just overall a great change. I think he's going to do way better at high rank. The only thing is the ult. The Storm team up is kind of ridiculous. I think we can all agree with that. But yeah, I think the Jeff rework was great.
Yeah, I don't play Jeff at all, but from what I've seen, he is a lot better now. I used to not enjoy when I get a Jeff on my team before the rework, but now I'm like, okay, like he could be pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I did not know there was even a strike for the Jeff rework, but I do understand why a lot of Jeff players were hesitant at first. Now, I was of the notion that like this change basically lobotomized Jeff and flanking was no longer an option. And I still, like, after reviewing some gameplay and trying a little bit of Jeff myself, I think while it did remove most of his flanking abilities, it actually made Jeff more playable as a hero, especially in high play, like they said. And hopefully they might rework him a little, so I think he's a little more on the nose with his like diving past. But in general, I think the devs did cook. despite what I thought they wouldn't do. So yeah.
Ranking up as strategist is too easy.
I mean, really, it's just for the same reasons from before when I said that support's the easiest role in the game. It's just really easy to get value on most of the characters on the support roster. Like, there's not a whole lot of pressure on you to just go crazy to win games. Whereas on the other roles, especially tank in my opinion, the game is just more in your hands, and if you mess up, it's just over.
I don't really have much to say, but I agree actually with what Kane said. But at the same time, it all really depends, like, your teammates basically, like who they're playing as. It feels like I could add a lot more to this, but right now at the moment, I don't really know what to say.
While initially it's very easy to rank up as strategist, once you get to the higher ranks, it mellows out and kind of balances with all the other ranks. And I say this because when you get the high play, it's not as easy to play support. Mechanically, support is the easiest role. And also, I think there's a lot less pressure as support initially because you're in the back line most of the time, unless you're getting dove. You're pretty much chill for most of the fight. But again, once you get to higher play, there is a lot more emphasis on positioning, on making playmaking stuff with your team. So it's not going to be as easy to rank up. I guess I'd be more neutral on this if I could repick. But in general, because it's kind of easy to play support, a lot of people may struggle by learning the actual mechanics when they get to higher play. And again, as I said before, it's kind of really hard to carry as support. You can do your job, you can keep your team sustained, but to actually make like the huge mega plays that like swing the tide in your favor or like start to make you win the game, it's not as easy as in support compared to other roles, in my opinion.
I haven't touched comp at all in this game, so I have no opinion on this whatsoever.
Yes, support or strategist is the most mechanically easy, role to play. But I think people forget, currently the way to play this role in this game is to heal bot, and you cannot carry games by heal botting. And that makes your competitive experience very painful. And I think, like, even for those who did disagree with my take, I think when I say that, you guys get the Vietnam flashbacks, right? It can be very painful. You can do your best, but you can still lose games just because this one duelist decided not to switch, or there's like a tank that's basically throwing the game. So yeah, hopefully, Ultron, we have a support, now character where you don't have to heal much, and there's some like variety in abilities and playstyles, I think, coming out. Hopefully this changes, but yeah, that is all.
I agree with Luna said. It's like support role in this game really relies on your team and whether it's doing good or not, because basically as a support your job is to heal. If you look just for 1 second away, your teammate just explodes and dies without you bucketing them and healing them. So because of that, supports don't really have an opportunity, a window to make some crazy plays to truly carry the game. So for me to ranking up, I need also to heal bot, to heal my team, and also just stay alive. And sometimes it's impossible to win games if your team just doesn't do enough for your team. After all, this is a team game. And if you have DPS that go negative and tanks that just can't hold space, they're exploding, they're dying all the time, they're feeding, it's almost impossible to win alone as a support. So I think being a support main in this game is like a coin flip. A lot of games for me feel like coin flip, whether it's my team is rolling the other team or it's the opposite. Thank you.
Can I say something in response to that?
Yeah, go ahead. Hop on the podium.
So 2 things. In response to the fact that a DPS going negative can, cause problems in the game, and obviously if nothing's dying, nothing's going to happen. In the same respect, if you have a bad support player, the DPS player is going to say the same thing about us. So yes, they may have impact, but we still have impact. It's just different. And if we can prevent anyone from dying, then we can't lose, right? And also support ults tend to be like the most impactful thing in this game. When you ult track, the first thing that gets tracked is the support ults every single time. Also, part of the reason that I think that people look at supports this way is because most of the supports are very similar. You just heal bot, and the ones that aren't that way, you know, take Jeff, take Adam, they're only played when there's like a team up that works with other characters. So like Adam got picked with Star-Lord and Mantis, and now Jeff is played because of Sharknado. But like I think that part of the reason that support is looked that way is because it doesn't have impact because of the role itself. And like I think that maybe some changes need to be made to the characters that way.
Is there anybody that would like to change their stance after hearing others speak? If so, say yes. No? Yes? Okay, who?
Me. Neutral. After kind of hearing everyone, I think games are a lot more nuanced than they seem to be. Like, a lot of times you can just queue into a game, you get a team that just like everything works perfectly, you win, you know, you take your elo, you leave. And other times, you know, you get to a team, it's a disaster, like nothing's working. Even if you switch, you may as well just FF at that point and then you call it a loss. And again, as supports, it's a lot more volatile because you don't have the carrying potential as other roles. As I've said before, if you get kills as DPSs, you make space for your team, they win. As a tank, if you make sure people stay alive, if you make space, you know, you end up winning team fights. But as support, you're really just keeping people alive so they can make the major plays for you. I will say, however, that again, support ults are one of the biggest ults in the game, and especially with how powerful the healing is. And if you mess them up, it is known that you won or will lost the game because of a good or a bad support ult. So I think in general, there's a big case-by-case basis. I also want to say that sometimes you just got to switch it up, like team comp-wise, and not stay at the same thing. Because sometimes the DPS isn't doing well, they should do support, and maybe your support is just not hitting today, so you should play another role, which is why I think flexing is so important. You shouldn't have to flex, but if it's needed, it's needed.
Nobody got canceled today. That sucks. Why? Why are support and strategist players so, like, chill? Why do we not have a villain? We have maybe like 4 minutes before the lobby closes. It's not too late to get canceled. Who wants to hop up on the podium and spit some absolute garbage? Yeah, go ahead. Go.
Yes.
I was second.
You can carry, guys. You can carry on strategist, trust. But the character that I use is Invis because she does damage. She has insane utility. You can stop ults like Strange and Spidey. You can push them away without wasting your ult. She heals so much and does damage at the same time. When I got introduced to Invis, she helped me a lot. That's what I gotta say. It is possible to carry on strategist.
Strawberry, you're too nice. Can you call somebody dog shit real quick? Just pick somebody in the lobby. Go. I was kidding. All right, that's our.
I'd like to say something, if that's okay, to what you said.
Yes.
It's possible for higher ranks, but trust me, the lower like metal ranks, I think it's very much so impossible. Not impossible, I think that's like me exaggerated, but it's very difficult to carry in the lower ranks because everybody's taking so much damage, but there's nothing happening at the same time. I don't know what's wrong with the lower like ranks at all, but you really don't get the opportunity to like do anything because everybody expects you to heal. Everybody, like, people don't take cover. So yeah.
Subscribe to Crystal Rain!
To the 1, to the 1, to the 3. I play easy mode, and I play to win. I love to die, and I like to BRB. All systems checked out. Group up with me. 2 to the 1, to the 1, to the 3. I'm here to party. GG. A giant gorilla can keep up with me. You can't be serious.